Oh no, minus 60. Oh, is that me? Oh my God. Two. Oh man, I just missed it, man. Son of a bitch.
I have a controller box for a 20 Newton meter direct drive servo driven force feedback wheel. Why? Well, recently Ollie from Simplicity sent us one of their SW20 kits to review, and after a week of driving in Assetto Corsa, iRacing, R-Factor 2 and Race Room Racing experience, I have to say, it's bloody fantastic. When direct drive wheels and direct drive wheel kits started to appear on the market back in around 2012, it was very much the case that you had to be an engineer, someone good with a soldering iron, and someone prepared to order components from China, Bulgaria and Istanbul, then get all those components together and somehow work out how to get them to work. Fortunately, this is what Simplicity have really addressed, in that you can now just go to a single website, decide if you want your shoulders removed from your body with their high torque kit, or just your hands removed from your wrists with their slightly lower 20 Newton meter torque kit. With that order, you'll receive the controller box, the motor, and all the cables necessary to get it working. On top of that, you'll also receive a 1-hour phone call with the man himself, and he will guide you through any setup problems or any queries you may or may not have. The only thing missing from the kit, which I'm told is somewhat important when it comes to sim racing, is a steering wheel. Now, you can just get any steering wheel so long as it's got a 17mm PCD hole arrangement on it. Use a cheapo eBay wheel or get something a little bit more authentic. And in our case, for this review, we went and got a Tricento rim along with a sim-gear.co.uk button box. All said and done though, once you've got your steering wheel and mounted it to the shaft of your servo motor, it's simply a case of copying some files from your computer to the servo motor controller box, and from that point onwards it is plug and play, and in no real difference from any of the previous wheels we've used, like the G25, T300 and TSPC Racer. Now, enough chit chat of the setting up and all the components, let's get to the important part and the bread and butter. What is it actually like to use? The most striking aspect when driving with the SW20 force feedback wheel isn't, as you might initially think, the ridiculous torque potential and strength of forces that the wheel's capable of putting out, but it's actually the sheer fidelity of the force feedback effects that you get from this servo motor. You can literally feel every track surface detail, not just the changing camber, altitude and large bumps on the road surface. Now, I mean every single detail, even road markings, even painted lines on the road are legible through the force feedback of this device. Which might sound impressive, but what's even more impressive than that is that it doesn't matter how much load you're under, you can still feel those details. So for example, say you're going up through Eau Rouge, or you're going through a high-speed sustained corner where you've already got the force feedback pushing against you, replicating that G-force field and the actual tyre aligning effect that you get when trying to push a vehicle through a corner. You can still feel those tiny little details and the tyres undulating over the road surface through that torque and power that the wheel delivers. Now, though that is the most striking aspect, and it definitely adds a huge amount to the immersion that you get from playing a driving simulator, it's not necessarily the most important aspect of force feedback when it comes to the raw functionality of driving a simulated car. What is, and what does, add a huge amount of functionality and makes driving simulators a hell of a lot easier to drive is the nature of the wheel's rotational speed combined with its decisively delivered high torque. What effectively happens with the SW20 compared to the more mass market wheels is that your real world force feedback wheel is always in sync with the simulator. This means that you can effectively let the car drive itself. Now, you can do that with slower cars with the more mass market wheels, and you can sometimes set them up by fiddling with wheel rotation. But with just about any car, so long as the simulator is set up right, you can have the full 900 or even more degrees of rotation, and always have the wheel be absolutely spot on with the sim. If anything, with the SW20, it actually takes more effort to drive badly or destabilise the car or unnecessarily overdrive the car. The wheel calms things down. It makes the car feel as if it actually has some mass. It makes the cars a hell of a lot safer to drive. It is worth pointing out though that it does depend on the simulator. Certain cars in certain simulators do tend to cause oscillating effects that can be somewhat problematic and cause you to then have to reduce the force feedback strength on your wheel. It will still be infinitely better than any of the mass market wheels, but you lose that raw one-to-one hyper-realistic force feedback that you get from cars in specific cars in R Factor 2 and specific cars in iRacing and Assetto Corsa that just connect and feel like an utter dream to drive with the SW20. Now, it's not only the incredible force feedback where this wheel delivers, but it's actually in its utility as a basic input device for gaming.
Jesus.
The encoder on this, the 10,000 PPR encoder, is ridiculous in terms of picking up wheel movements. For example, I can touch the wheel with my finger and have it so that the encoder picks up left and right movement, but I can't see the wheel moving. That is how high the fidelity of the rotation is with the device, and I can assure you that movement is still one-to-one with what's going on. It's not that it's bugging out. If the wheel is left still, it doesn't pick anything up, and if you move it normally left and right, you'll see that it's picking up the wheel position in a perfectly linear rotational detection is of the encoder, but actually shows you how little dampening, cogging or mechanical resistance is inherent to the motor itself. The wheel is completely free-flowing and smooth when it needs to be, so much so that you can actually put dampening on the wheel through the software, either in the game or through the MOS controller, and it won't negatively impact the experience. It might actually, in occasions, make it better. In short, the input, the force feedback, and just the all-round maximum rotation. Increase the voltages to get the full 20 Newton meters out of the wheel. You just have to change two values, and then you can effectively ignore it from then on. Now, of course, because the SW20 is using the SimuCube controller box, in the future there will likely be updates to Granity, be that the actual core Granity software, but also Granity look as if they're working on their own MOS style simulation driver software, which means that the SW20 should effectively be completely future-proof should there be future developments in the direct drive force feedback wheel world. In conclusion, from this video, it's probably pretty obvious that I think this wheel is absolutely fantastic, and that's an incredible prize whilst watching it. As a result, we haven't covered every single aspect of this wheel and very specific aspects of this wheel with different simulators. So what we will be doing are follow-up videos where we delve deep into each specific simulator and even specific cars in each simulator and talk about how well the wheel works with those simulators and specific cars. If you do want to watch those videos, I would highly recommend clicking the expand button on the video description box, where we'll paste links to those videos so you can click them and then watch them. Of course, you should indeed click the subscribe button, and not only subscribe to us on YouTube, but also follow us on Twitch, where when we stream we're using this force feedback wheel, so you'll be able to actually see us drive with the wheel and looking through the key features of Assetto Corsa Competizione, one thing stands out, and that is a white bar with the following text. A well-structured ranking system will evaluate individual performance and driving behaviour to reward the most virtuous drivers and promote fair play in online competitions. The matchmaking function makes sure that you can compete with opponents of similar skill level and easy to find online races to join. With that in mind, should iRacers be worried? Should iRacing be scared? Is this the end of iRacing? Welcome back to the Game of Muscle YouTube channel, where we don't clickbait, hype or exaggerate for the sake of views. Now, one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, and the sole reason for lots of people that they play iRacing and pay between 5 and 50 times more to play iRacing than they would any other driving simulator, is the fact that it has really good, if not class-leading, online ranked multiplayer. With it simply being the case that no other decent driving simulator really has a proper ranking system. But with ACC coming out, it looks like that's about to change, and I do think in some ways iRacing should be slightly worried. Now, it's not going to kill iRacing. Oh dear, that's ruined it. That's ruined the suspension of this video. You can close it now. It's pretty obvious that ACC won't kill iRacing. In fact, games don't kill other games. We're not in Viking times plundering villages and murdering people. This is games. What happens is there's user bases that play titles, and even if a title is demonstrably awful,
So you have two different models. Is it fair to say one will be an entry model and one will be a more exclusive model, or are they just purely differentiated from the amount of torque they produce?
Basically, they come in the same housing. They look the same, and it's really just the torque which is the difference, which also, of course, requires a more powerful power supply, etc., etc. Different internal electronics. The motor inside is different, but yeah, that's essentially what both have in common is first of all a new quick release system, which is suitable for the direct drive market. So it's a very strong system where you which avoids any kind of gaps or shaking of the wheels. At the same time, we made it compatible to the complete steering wheel range of Fanatic. And the next thing is we want to avoid a cable flying around, and it's also we need to make it fit for commercial purposes where people can turn it endlessly, and therefore we came up with a solution which transfers data and power wireless without using a slip ring.
Will you be developing new rims to go with the new system?
With the Podium wheelbase, we are actually introducing the whole Podium series. The Podium series is positioned above the Club Sport series, and what we want to do is basically for the CSL, CS Elite product range, the Club Sport range, and the Podium range, we want to have a wheelbase, steering wheel, pedal, shifter, handbrake, everything on different price and performance levels, but they're all compatible with each other. So yes, there will be new steering wheels. We're actually currently working on Podium steering wheels, which will be very nice, but I can't say anything so far.
Hey guys, welcome to Summer Sympathetic. I'm William Mars, and this is an interesting time for direct drive wheels. Not only are we getting the very powerful wheels such as the
Come on, just tell me if it's worth buying.
So we get to 7. That is roughly.
Why do they go through all this?
Okay. You get it's the torques. This is still. This is. I have gone on the record, and that is, I think, two things that really are in handy, or that come in handy with a direct drive wheel. I have gone on the record and said that the Club Sport wheel is my favorite non-direct drive wheel in terms of smoothness and speed. However, even with this,
What is that shit?
all clear.
It's a shitty ass setup, bro, I'll tell you that. Like it's sitting way up too high. You know, it's not like sitting in a car, like I'm sitting in my car. It's a complete difference, man. Oh, Dover, 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 huh? All the tracks I hated last year, I'm loving this year. Well, this season. It's my second season. I guess you could say. Second season of racing, and I'm on the verge of breaking 2,000 iRating. It's like every time you get to 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, it's so hard to get it over that 21, 2,200. If you get 2,100, you're pretty safe. Then you just start going up to 3,000. But just breaking that mark. Every time I get to 2,000, it gets knocked back down. Easy. Pitting. Ah! Well, missed the pit. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out pit adjustments, what they actually do and what they don't do.
Yeah, somebody pulled out the track when I was going down low where it had no consideration for other people out on the track, Jerry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I get it, though.
Oh man, you ran this week yet?
Yeah, yes, Wednesday, Thursday. I should be on today. I've got to go to work tonight.
Yeah.
My foot! Foot!
We had like 3 of us running. We had it's like 3 or 4 of us in the top. We were like in the top 3 or something, and yow, and the second place car went up and hit the wall and took us all out. God damn it. Robert, you know about car setups, right?
No.
No? Damn it. Yeah, I'll have to look it up and see what it says.
We will use the Nascar Cup car at Charlotte Motor Speedway. There are many settings in the garage area that can adjust the cross weight, but the most effective way is also accessible during the pit stop. We can do this by adjusting the rear spring offset. Adjusting them can raise or lower cross, but it also changes the rear ride height, which will change the car's aerodynamic performance. Adjusting the left rear spring offset is most effective when fighting a severe handling issue. For example, if the car has a loosening issue and cross weight is raised using the left rear spring offset, it also raises the rear of the car. This creates more aerodynamic downforce on the rear of the car, helping you maintain control when the back end starts to slide out. If the car has a tight condition, you can lower the cross weight using the left rear spring offset. This will lower the rear of the car, remove downforce from the rear, and reduce drag in addition to lowering the cross. There will be times when you have the optimal aerodynamic platform, but the handling is just a little off. To adjust the cross, loosen or tighten the car equally on both the right rear and the left rear spring offset. It can be confusing at first, but spend some time memorizing what these adjustments do, and you will have mastered a piece of knowledge that many drivers haven't. The optimal aerodynamic platform in the rear and maintain control when the back end starts to slide out. If the car has a tight condition, you can lower the cross weight using the left rear spring offset. This will lower the rear of the car, remove downforce from the rear, and reduce drag in addition to lowering the cross. There will be times when you have the optimal aerodynamic platform, but the handling is just a little off. To adjust the cross, loosen or tighten the car equally on both the right rear and the left rear spring offset. It can be confusing at first, but spend some time memorizing what these adjustments do, and you will have mastered a piece of knowledge that many drivers haven't.
We have forgotten what makes us strong.
What's up, y'all? Y'all, hey, y'all. Trying to work on pit adjustments, what they do and what they don't do. Whoa, hold on. Whoa, easy there. Almost lost it. From what it looks like, we need to raise the left rear up a little bit. See the ASN? Sounds like ASN trying to come out. Saying it's not going in too good. That could have been done by changing the tape too. Let's switch everything back and adjust the left rear. Figures now I gotta go to the bathroom. So we would minus it. 1. Let's see what that does. Actually, it may feel a little bit better. But that's just on a short run, right? Yeah, it's sliding up the track too much there. I don't like that shit at all. Plus, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. But let's see where this was. Or a lot of times they will say to go 1 and 1. I'll be right back.
that, Jerry. Well, I wondered. Here, Jerry, get off the drive. I moved him.
Alright, I'm back. Oh, shit. Alright, 0-0. Let's see how it runs like this. Pit adjustments is what I'm trying to figure out. What can I do to my car in the pits that will help me? If you guys know pit adjustments, type that shit in there and let me know what it does. Please don't pull right up on the track out of the pits, please. this again. Let me tell you what the biggest mistakes people make in iRacing is. The biggest mistake is not running your race. Alright, somebody passes you on this track. Alright, you think, God damn it, I got passed. I can't let him pass. You know, I need to catch up to him. And you push your car or your abilities farther than they should in your rack. You know, it's good to push yourself at times to make yourself faster, but it's better to do that in practice. In a race, just run your race. The entry's not that great. They're sliding around. Look, he does it again. See, he's pushing the issue because I'm behind him. And he wants to go quicker.
You like that?
So you always just run your race. The biggest people make it Dover is burning up tires. Remember, listen to my car. Remember, when you go into the corner, ease up slowly. I brake and gas at the same time going into the corner. You know, you ease in the pedal and you ease out. Good. Just watch my green line, how it goes up and down. You'll never see it go completely down. Like right in here. See how it went down easy? The next corner I'm going to completely left and you'll see the difference. You go in the corner, you go in the corner worse and everything else. Good. Hey Robert, you don't completely lift, do you?
Oh yeah.
Don't do that. That's very, very bad.
Very bad to lift?
Like when you go in the corner, if you're completely lifting off the gas 100%, what it does to your car is it makes it jump up in the air. Try to ease out of it, even if you got to brake and gas at the same time, try to ease out of the pedal one time into the corner and see how better it is. I mean, it takes a while to get used to it, but it saves your tires. You'll go a lot more steady into the corner. But yeah, when I go into a corner, I brake and gas it just as I'm easing off the gas at the same time.
I'm hitting the gas and brake low.
But if you can do that, I guarantee your later lap times would improve drastically. I mean, you're fast now. You'll probably be 10 times, a lot faster in the long run. I read up on a lot of shit about them, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And that's one of like the top ones.
I'm just going too fast in the corner. run off.
Yeah, the setup I got, it gets real loose to start, and it'll get real good for in mid laps, you know, 10 to 25 laps, and then it'll start getting real loose. Then it'll get after another 20 laps, then it'll get real bad after like 40 laps, 45. I'll be back in a couple minutes here. Oh, man.
I'm just trying too hard.
Alright, I need to go to the store to get it back in 30 minutes, a real 30 minutes. Okay, alright. Yeah. I'll be back, guys. I gotta run up to the store and stuff. I'll be back in a little while here.